Getting the inside track with the industry insiders and uncovering today the new First Home Owners Programme in Dubai. What do we know so far? What can it mean for residents and indeed the market? Joining us from House & House Sales Director Harrison Rackham-Beadle to answer my questions and yours. It's been a big old week in the property headlines, Harrison. How are you?
Very good, thank you. And there's certainly been a lot to talk about in the last few days, for sure.
A lot of questions. Some answers. It's all kind of, let's say, a developing situation. So let's break it down with basics. What do we know about the First Home Owners Programme in Dubai? Who is it for?
So, guess the clues are in the name, right? So it's aimed at our first-time buyers in the Emirates, specifically in Dubai. And I think, the big picture here is that it's a great initiative from the government. It's a collaboration between the Dubai Land Department, I think 13 developers and 5 banks, to basically make the purchasing of, the process of buying your first home in the Emirate easier and more cost effective.
So this is going to include things like priority access to newly launched units. So this is, as you said, working with developers as well. There's been talk about preferential prices on units as well if you're registered as a participant.
So it's very early days, right? Some details are yet to be revealed. But what we do know is that it's a double-edged sword. It's to apply to both your off-plan buyers and your ready property buyers. And then the benefits. I thought it
was just off-plan.
No, so for off-plan buyers, the benefits will include early access to launches, maybe preferential payment plans, maybe the DLD fees, a portion will be waived, but none of this is gospel just yet. On the ready market, the banks is the big thing here, right? It's making the mortgage process easier and more accessible for first-time buyers, hopefully shortening the time it takes to get your approval and on better terms as well.
So there's going to be a financial relief piece. It is kind of demonstrating that more people are putting down roots here. And when I heard about it, I kind of had this good moment because to my mind, I think about people kind of coming in with loads of money and, buying the units before anyone else gets the chance. And you're there going, I'm earning some all right money. I'd quite like to buy a place too. Can I have a go?
That's exactly who is targeted, right? I think the government have realised that, it's a good idea to diversify the pool of buyers in the market. And we're not all millionaires and we're not all multi-property owners. And some of us just want to get on the property ladder and, like you rightly said, put down our roots with a long-term view of being here. And that's what it all is. It's, I think it's part of the wider agenda of D33 to double our economy and to have more people living here for the long term. And this is a really good part of it, to encourage people to stay here, to buy homes, to maybe move away from renting and contribute to the economy.
What do you know about the types of properties that would be covered by this in terms of literal types of properties, but also the value of them?
Any property, really, right? So in terms of bank rates, it's going to be properties up to 5 million dirhams. It has to be your first property in Dubai, not necessarily in the UAE, as far as I understand. You have to be over the age of 18 and you have to be a resident. So that's another really key feature here as well, is that it's targeted towards UAE residents, either nationals or expats, instead of your overseas buyers.
We've had a message earlier from James saying, could I use this scheme if I've bought and sold in Abu Dhabi before? Now, good question, James. I've had a look at the FAQs, as I know Harrison has as well. And because this is Dubai Land Department, to the best of our understanding,
we would assume
at this time, that would be fine.
As far as we can see at this time, it's specifically with the Dubai Land Department in the Emirate of Dubai. So if you've bought and sold in another Emirate, you should still be eligible. But I think it's worth noting here that, the DLD website is full of information. I actually done a dummy run of how easy it is to apply for eligibility. And it's super easy. You just go on Dubai Rest app, you log in with UAE Past, and within 5 minutes, you've got your little QR code that you can take to the banks and developers to show that you've signed up to the scheme. And I think the big takeaway here is that it is an exciting initiative that a lot of people get excited about. And our advice is, look, whilst details are still developing, get in touch with a broker, someone that you can rely on, someone that's a good source of information. And as more information gets rolled out, you be the first to know. So if you are a first-time buyer, get in touch with an agent.
I had a little dummy run too.
Easy, right?
Yeah. Can I just say, I love... You know how there's some kind of apps and services that people outside of the UAE are like, You what? It's that easy. What? So UA Pass, I really like.
Phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
Honestly, I just stare at my phone for 10 minutes, for 10 seconds, and I'm logged in.
Done.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So I did a dummy run as well, and it logged me in with my UA Pass, and it immediately was like, you're not eligible because you own a property in Dubai. But I was like, interesting that it's all in one place.
Absolutely.
I actually am thinking about doing an Instagram post on the apps and services that my friends back home don't believe exist.
They don't know they're missing out, honestly.
No, I'm thinking like Cafu. Have you ever done Doobs? You know, where they come to your house and check your luggage in at home?
No, but it sounds right up my street, to be fair.
What
Downloads
a time!
now.
What a time to be alive. General advice, and moving away from the scheme, as we said, the new First Home Owners Programme in Dubai. We're still learning about it. We're still getting an understanding of developers and banks and how that's going to be collaborating with Dubai Land Department. But general advice for first-time buyers. Let's say you want to put down roots. First steps in terms of working out what you can afford, about getting your head around what you want to achieve as well. What do you tend to advise clients coming to you?
There's a lot of information out there, right? I think it's very important to not get carried away with all the news on social media, because it's not all verified facts. And if you're a first-time buyer in the market, my absolute best advice is get in touch with a registered agent that's got experience in the market, that knows how to guide you through this potentially tricky journey you're about to go on. And if they, most agents will have partners in banks or mortgage brokers that can help you work out your eligibility. And I think if you're a first-time buyer, that is the most important thing. Work with an agent that's got your best interest at heart, because your requirements are going to differ from the next person, right? It's very personal to you. So it's hard to give advice on how to be the perfect first-time buyer, but get in touch with an agent. They'll guide you through it. Your search is different to the next person's.
And speaking of searches, I mean, I love a little property peruse online as much as the next person.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go, okay, I mean, that's nice, Helen, but that's 24 million dirhams.
Yeah.
Understanding the affordability piece is crucial, to have those parameters in place, to literally crunch the numbers before you do anything else.
I think I'd get in touch with an agent. I'd then speak to a mortgage broker just to understand, okay, based on my earnings, based on my profile, how much can I lend if I'm planning to take a mortgage, and just work out your budget, because that's going to be really key in working out, okay, which area I'm going to look at. When we're qualifying a buyer and we're having these conversations, usually what budget they have is going to be a main driver into which community they can go for.
Absolutely.
Right? If I have the budget for the Greens, I'm probably not going to go look in Arabian Ranches, for example, right?
Where's doing well right now for first-time buyers? When you speak to your team across Dubai, where are you seeing, I guess, a target-rich environment for people who are looking to dip their toe in?
I think when I think of first-time buyers, I think of, I don't want to say low ticket, but a community like maybe JVC is very first-time buyer friendly. It's affordable. They rent well. They are, generally speaking, newer units as well. I don't want to use the word maybe safe, but it's a safe place to invest some of your money. And when we're looking at first-time buyer friendly, it's usually things that are budget friendly, right?
So what would that be? You're kind of below 2 million?
Below 2, below 1.5 maybe for a one bed to get on the property ladder. You're looking at communities maybe like Business Bay or JVC, Arjan, Motor City, The Greens, certain buildings in maybe Marina, JBR. I think these sort of communities.
Where are you excited about right now? And how's summer treating you on the property front? Because I'm seeing no signs of slowing down.
I'm overly optimistic, and I'm very positive about most communities in Dubai. So we look after a broad range of communities at House and House, and it doesn't seem like there's any particular slowdown. I think it's really a mentality thing, right? I think the conversation of the market slowing down over the summertime is a bit of a farce. People do travel, you're right, but there are still opportunities for buyers, and there are still buyers that need to look at purchasing a home for sellers.
A lot of people are moving here this summer.
Absolutely.
A huge number. One look at the Facebook groups for mums, it's, We're arriving in August. We're arriving in 2 weeks.
When does school start?
End of August.
There you go, right? So if you're looking to buy a house, usually the lead time on a property transfer is between 4 and 8 weeks. So if you want to be in before the start of the school term, really you need to be looking at buying a house now, right?
And what we've talked about before is people moving here aren't waiting 5-10 years before they actually buy. It's, we're here, let's crack on.
And I think that contributes to the earlier conversation we was having about the vision of D33, of doubling down on the economy, is that people are moving to Dubai with a longer term vision. So maybe less people are looking to rent for the first few years and they just want to get straight on the property ladder.
Joining us in studio, as we always do on a Monday afternoon, House and House. Today, it was Harris and Rackham-Beadle. We've been talking about the new First Home Owners Programme in Dubai. As we've established, we're still finding out more. Of course, Dubai I-103.8 and House and House will be keeping you up to date. So if you do have any questions, do keep them coming in. And yeah, fantastic opportunity. As soon as we have more information, we'll be sharing it right here. Thanks, Harrison.
Thank you very much.